The big day we've all been waiting for is finally here. You're like, bro, what big day? Well, stick around and you'll find out, SA. We're also going to talk about Ripple's RLUSD. Big adoption. Hbar XRP price along...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Along with you getting to decide the future of the channel. But before we get into that, you know the deal, lemon peel. Your comments come first. You, the viewer, matter most. So many names says I've seen Max Kaiser dressed up like a Batman villain far too many times to take him or his opinion seriously. I lived through the Madoff era enough to tell that Sailor is just like that. I still believe I'll get to retire from this talking about XRP, but I feel a lot more like I live in the real world, in large part due to your channel, so thank you. Yeah, because the hopium is just so disgusting. Donnie Atkins says, really appreciate your insight. Been real, thanks. Been real, dude. Don't find many people out there like you. Well, thank you so much, Donnie. I greatly appreciate it. NVIDIA Shield. Ooh, NVIDIA stock. Any players down there? Says Trump's son. No different than Biden's son. That's right, because Trump's son got a spot on the board. Family gets you the goodies. Bradley P. Gamer says we need the regs to benefit retail. Totally agree. And... maybe that's what I have coming up that you need to hear about. We need the OTC deals to chill so the retail can benefit. We need Congress to move quicker. We need institutional adoption and the floodgates to get open. We don't need the flood, though, from Halo, do we?
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That was pretty epic, wasn't it?
Bitcoin sitting at 84,581. ETH is 1996. Still a laggard under the 2,000 mark. BNB at 628. Solo 129. 8 at 70 cents. XRP at 239. We're going to talk about it along with Hbar. Now you're like, bro, where is Hbar on the heat map? Check this out. You have to scroll down here and then you got to start zooming in. Why? Because the volume has dropped down so much that it's one of these little boxes. 18.4 cents. We'll talk price at the end. Binance now holds over 2/3 of the stablecoin market. Yo, we got centralization of crypto, and that's not what we wanted. But stables are growing. We're going to get regs with stables first. And no, that's not what the big news is about. It's about something else, something juicier. In today's market, stablecoins remain the backbone of on-chain liquidity and trading efficiency, providing price stability, reducing friction in capital movement, and serving as a default unit account for traders worldwide. And great way to make payments. As of March 2025, Binance holds a staggering 66% of stablecoin reserves among major exchanges, far pacing everyone out. Binance's reserve to market cap ratio has climbed steadily, while competitors have seen their share stagnate or decline. The data underlying this growing gap. Binance and Binance US dominate over 2/3 of the market with 31 billion in reserves. This is pretty freaking crazy. Centralized ownership of stablecoins. Stablecoins growing because we're going to get the regs quicker, and institutional players getting into stablecoins. Now let's stick with the stablecoin vibe, and then we're going to talk some juicy stuff. And yes, you get to determine the direction of the channel. Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin gains traction amid growing regulatory clarity. And we saw Trump just recently said, hey, look, I want you to speed it up with the stablecoin regs. We need to get this done. Word on the street is that as soon as we get the regs, everyone's going to be launching their own stablecoins. Each bank is going to have their own. You're going to have stablecoins coming out of your butts. That's basically what's going to be happening. Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin, designed to compete with major players like USDT and USDC, has now reached an impressive 160 million in circulating supply. That's really good. That's about trust. And remember, this is a newer product that was launched in late December. What is particularly striking RLUSD's increasing adoption in the Ethereum mainnet. Whoa. Yes, you heard me correctly. Not in the XRPL chain, but in the Ethereum one. Between January and March of 2025, RLUSD has shown consistent growth, with significant spikes aligning with market volatility, suggesting its utility for both liquidity and hedging. And we've seen that. A lot of players have been getting into stables, moving out of alt, moving out of BTC while the market's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, strategic reserve, regs, and all that kind of stuff. And they're parking their money in stables, earning a juicy yield. And then we got the SEC basically saying, yo, girlfriend, we're not going to be going after yield products anymore because it doesn't constitute a contract, because it's all done through like smart contracts and so forth and other mechanisms. So yeah, players are getting into stables because they're less risky. But let me ask you a quick question. Is it worth you parking your money in stable coins to earn 7, 10, 14%? Let me know down below. Oh, and by the way, this and all the other articles and all the other videos, they're linked in the description below. Yeah, down there in the old nutbag section. You ready for it? You ready, girlfriend? SEC chair nominee Paul Atkins is just getting the Senate confirmation hearing. It's finally happening, everyone. And I told you as soon as this news breaks, as soon as I would get dates, I would share it with you. Now, when is the date for the hearing? It is March 27th. Garmin, help me out with that. That's 5 days from now. Oh, yes. Love it. Let's learn. Paul Atkins will face the Senate Banking Committee on March 27th for his confirmation hearing, become the next chair of the U.S. SEC. Now, what's awesome about this is we know they're totally holding back on regs. They're totally holding back on a whole bunch of stuff until the big guy gets confirmed. This hearing is happening in Washington, D.C., and if confirmed, Atkins would replace Mark Ueda, who's been holding the seat since January. Atkins previously served as an SEC commissioner for 2002 to 2008. After his time at the agency, he went on to a whole bunch of other stuff. His return to the SEC comes at a time when we've seen massive changes. Now, wait. This gets even bigger. Are you ready for it? And I told you I'd bring you the news, good or bad, happy or sad, and I'm happy today because I'm bringing you good news. Confirmation hearing won't just be about Atkins. The Senate panel also reviewing Jonathan Gould, a partner at Jones Day who is being nominated to lead the Office of the Comptroller of Currency. Oh, that's good too. The committee will also consider Luke Pennant, who has been nominated as the Assistant Secretary for Financial Institutions at the Treasury Department. This is huge. The focus, though, is mainly on Atkins because of the SEC's new direction. This is freaking awesome. So here's the deal, Lemon Peel. That hearing is happening on the 27th. So I'm asking you, should we cover the Senate confirmation hearing for Paul Atkins on the 27th with a live stream? Vote. It's linked down below. Yes, let's cover it. No, don't waste your or our time. You control the future direction of the channel. Right now, volume is absolutely shitty. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I said shitty. Down 29% to $47 billion. This is some of the lowest weekend volume I have seen since the election hysteria. Right now, BTC dominance, 21 out of 100. Essentially saying that BTC is holding its gains in the rest of the market. Market cap, yeah, 2.76. Inflows, yes, we're seeing them. Talked about that earlier. The algos kind of suppressed it. No worries, though. I'm telling you about it. Now, Hbar fans, this is what we got to start talking about. We got to start talking about the next steps here. Because, look, we were all excited when we saw Hbar pump from sub 5 cents to 30 plus cents. But then we got pushed back down. We had a secondary pump in mid-January and got pushed back down again. And now we're struggling to break that 20-cent mark. What's it going to take, Hbar fans? We need something big. We need something juicy. And we're not seeing it from Hbar Foundation. We're not seeing it from any of the institutional players out there. And in fact, we need the regs to see it. And we're not going to get the regs until what? Until Paul Atkins gets confirmed. That's why I brought this up. Because yes, Hbar fans, the thing that's going to be the best for Hbar out there and for the majority of the crypto market is a new SEC head so we can start working on the regs. And here's the best part. We're going to also then see what the institutional players do. Because we need to find out how these cryptos are being classified. Commodities? Securities? Are we going to come up with a whole new designation? Well, the first way to start towards that road is to get the big guy in the seat. So Hbar fans, relief around the corner? Seems like it. XRP, I got the 1-year chart for you up on the screen. A little bit different of a story. XRP is staying relevant. Now, listen to this, okay? I'm going to take a little hot, spicy take for you here, okay? So pull up your britches so you don't freak out. XRP is going to stay relevant for something bigger than what most players have. And that is the case is still going on. And you're like, but bro, didn't the SEC just drop its stuff against Ripple? Yeah, they did. But Ripple is still continuing their appeal against the SEC. They want to hammer it into the ground. They want to leave no stone unturned. They want to make sure every T is crossed, every I is dotted, and lowercase j, wonky I, name the movie. I'll give you a little bit of advice. Wait and humble. So yeah, XRP is going to stay relevant because Ripple is still going to be paying... I'm going to leave that in. See, I make mistakes. Ripple is still going to be bending over the SEC with its cross appeal. So now you got Ripple staying relevant in the news with the ETFs. Hbar's got the ETFs as well, just not as many. You got XRP is going to stay relevant with the cross appeal. That's going to go on for a while. Ripple is going to also stay relevant with not just the cross appeal, but the bending over of the SEC during that cross appeal, making sure this shit don't happen ever again. Then you're going to see them benefit even more from what? RLUSD growth, of which I shared with you earlier. Now, how much direct activity and action is that going to have on the price? Well, we're going to find out, because 160 million really isn't that big in terms of circulating supply. It's really not. I mean, players out there are in the billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. So we need to still add some zeros to this mix to get excited. But this is a good start, especially since late December. So XRP price is a little bit different, because we have a little bit more news that's going to keep us relevant. And you're like, but bro, why does relevant matter? Because ever since Pi launched, there hasn't been anything hot about them. So since then, you've seen their price totally peel away. What about Dog with Hat? Dog with Hat was all over the place. Now Dog with Hat can suck my balls. It's not relevant anymore. Ethereum. What has Ethereum done from their conversion of proof of work to piece of shit? I mean, piece of shit. POS. Oh, I keep messing it up, you see. That's my point, so it's not really relevant anymore. XLM and the Stellar Camp. What have they done that's kept them relevant? Really nothing. It's all been big nothing burgers. Ton got a pretty big pump here as of late. Why? They got a fresh injection from venture capital. That fresh injection was $400 million. So when you start looking at Ton Coin, you're like, oh, that's why we got this big jump up right here up on the screen. Yeah, because we had some new venture capital money come in and pump Ton Coin from under $3 to now $3.60. That's a 20% gain. That's juicy news. That's capital P in my book. Capital P for pumperoni. So yeah, you gotta stay hot, spicy, and relevant in the crypto market. That's how you keep investors wanting to play in your backyard. So we're going to keep following the news, and let me know down below, should we cover the confirmation hearing or not? I'll give you a little bit of insight here. For those of you that were watching the Jerome Powell FOMC meeting, tell me that was not one of the best live streams you've ever attended, and tell me that was not the best chat group you've seen, period. Yeah, and when I go into the chats, you think I'm naughty here? I kind of bring the naughty and the humor even further in the chats. Let me know, vote down below. Oh, exciting stuff. And I'm telling you, if you hit the notification bell, you don't miss out on all of this juicy news. But the real juice is going to come from the confirmation hearing and the questions that are asked, because we're going to actually get to see what his stance is on stuff. You know they're going to grill him about crypto. You know they're going to grill him about regs and how he feels in regards to stablecoin, how he feels about the securities markets and so forth, SEC's role in this whole thing, and that's all relevant to stuff we care about. So yeah, let me know if we should cover it. I'm going to do what you say, because that's why I bring your comments in the beginning, because you, the viewer, matter most. So I'm going to build this channel around you and build it for you. That's why on Saturday morning, I brought you the news. That's why on Saturday afternoon, I'm bringing you the news. And you know what's going to happen on Saturday evening? Well, I mean, it depends if my wife is down, but I'm going to bring you the news as well. Choo-choo, bitches. I'll catch y'all later. Please vote.